Patel from LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology in the Department of Electronics and Communication welcomes you to the session of Power Electronics. Today we are going to discuss about Unit 1, that is characteristic of semiconductor power devices, with topic Introduction of Thyristor family. But before that let me tell you the course outline. There are total 6 units. Among them, first one is about the characteristic of semiconductor power devices, in which we will discuss about the various thyristor family and that IV characteristic as well as static and dynamic characteristic and their advantages, disadvantages and applications of it. In the second unit, it is based on the controlled rectifiers, in which we will see the difference between the controlled and uncontrolled rectifier, its purpose and several examples related to it. The third unit is related to choppers, that is one type of DC to DC converter. We will see about DC to DC converter, as well as we will see the application of it. In unit number 4, that is single phase inverters. Inverters is one type of DC to AC converter. We will see the classification as well as various limitations and applications of it in this unit. Switching mode power supplies and applications is related to the UPS. So these are all about the course outline of this particular subject, power electronics. So let's start the reference book that you should refer for this particular course. The first one is M.H. Rashid for Power Electronics, and the second one is K.B. Khanchandani from the Power Electronics of publication Tata McGraw-Hill. First of all, let's see that what do you mean by power. Power is basically the generation as well as the distribution of the particular power, electric power. Here the main principle of the power electronics is based on the switching purpose. Now what do you mean by switching? So switching is the transmission from one state to another state, that is called as switching. So here there are list of application for power electronics like air conditioning and refrigerator, heat control, electric vehicles, HVDC as well as the motor control. Uh, uh, there are several other applications of power electronics that we will discuss in unit number 2 to 6, based on the inverters, based on the choppers or based on the various universal power supplies. So first let's see the quick classification of the various power circuits. The first one is rectifier. Rectifier, we can say that it is one type of AC to DC converter. Now again, rectifier can be of control type and uncontrolled type, but we will see about this in unit number 2 in detail. This is one introductory classification of power circuits, in which here you can see that here the first is diode 1 and the second one is the diode 2. So at a time only one diode will operated, and according to it the waveform can be seen. So here you can see that for the AC supply you can see that from 0 to pi and pi to 2 pi the waveform will be on the positive half cycle. At a first time interval it will be operated when the diode 1 is on, and on the second time interval it will be operated when diode 2 is on. So D1 and D2 will be operated accordingly on the first half and the second half. So this is all about the rectifier. You can also use as a silicon control rectifier for the further example. Here you can see the second classification is for the AC to DC converter with the SCR as a control device. So this is also one type of rectifier, but with the control device connected. Here this control device is SCR is connected over here. SCR means silicon control rectifier. So here in place of diode 1 and diode 2 we will connect the SCR1 as well as SCR2, and the load is connected across it, that is RL. So here you can see that on the first cycle, that is 0 to pi, the SCR1 is operated with some firing angle, that is alpha. We will discuss about what is firing angle in detail in unit number 2. Up to this you have to just remember that because of this control device, that is SCR connected over here, this will be the change in the waveform. That because it provides the controlled rectification of the circuit. Rest of the operation will remain same as the previous one. Third one is the inverter. Inverter is one type of DC to AC converter. So here we use the transistor model for this. Here again at a time one transistor and diode is operated, and at a other time the other transistor and diode pair will be operated. So as I said, it is one type of DC to AC converter. It will be used in PWM, pulse width modulation, and motor control purpose. We will see about this in detail in single phase inverter chapter. Next one classification is choppers. Choppers is one type of DC to DC converter. But now what is the difference if we convert DC into DC? But here you have to use the input as a fixed DC, and you can change it according to your controlled DC voltage. So here you can see that it is pure DC voltage as an input, and the other variable DC voltage you can get as an output. So this can be used for the switch mode regulator, and average output can be changed. Why average output can be changed? Because here you can see that the variable DC voltage will be there as an output, and that's why we can say that average output we can get by using the choppers. Next one is AC regulator. AC regulator is one type of AC to AC converter. So here triac will be used as this regulator. Triac means triode for alternating current. We will see about the construction, its schematic, as well as the IV characteristic of triac on the later lectures. Here again the load is connected across it. You can take either inductive type of load or resistive type of load across it. But here AC will be converted into the AC, and that's why here you can see the diagram will remains like this on the upper half portion as well as on the lower half portion, and on both the cycles will appear at a time. Here you can see that whenever the triac will remains on, this will be your diagram. Now let's see about the power diode. First of all, why we use power diode over the normal diode? So normal diode will have only PN junction transistor, and here for the power diode purpose it can provide the rectification, freewheeling, as well as the energy feedback point for this purpose. So types of power diode is, first one is general purpose PN junction diode. It will be operated below 1 kilohertz frequency. So according to the frequency it will be classified for the power diode. First one is general purpose PN junction, second one is fast recovery diode, that is Schottky diode, and it has the short recovery time. Means we can say that whenever we say that it has a short recovery time, you have to remember that it has easily turn on and turn off. Last one is a Schottky diode, that is has the IV characteristic that is similar to the PN junction diode. Now what is the difference in point of the power diode and normal diode? So here you can see that here the doping level of P plus, N minus is our drift layer, and there is N plus injection layer over here, and anode and cathode as it is. So here the construction of power diode has the features of P plus and N plus of heavily doping, because you can see in the figure that it has a doping of 10 raised to 10, and over here also 10 raised to 10 doping is there, and that's why we can say that P plus and N plus is heavily doped, and here N minus works as a depletion layer in this particular power diode, and because of this drift layer it will provide the more voltage capacity than the normal diode. Also the cross section area depends on the total current as well as the magnitude, that we will discuss that how this will affect on the performance of it. This is about the IV characteristic, current versus voltage characteristic. So here you can see that as the voltage increases, current increases, but on the other side, on the reverse bias side, it will occur the avalanche breakdown over here. This is about the dynamic characteristic of power diode. So here you can see that on the first cycle, when current versus time graph is there, it has the linear increase in time up to this. and after that it will remains static over some time interval, and after that there is a decline of di by dt on the second time interval. So because of that reverse recovery can be occur over there, and it will affect on this time interval over this. Here it is addition of T4 plus T5 time for this recovery factor, that is QRR. So now let's see how it will occur. First of all, turn on process, that is removal of stored space as well as the growth of excess carrier distribution, and the turn off process is during the T3 time interval for the forward current, that will reduces the process of removal of excess carrier. So here in this turn off process, this is our turn off process and this is your turn on process. So during this process we can say that the forward current will reduces, you can see this di by dt graph will reduces, and the process of removal charge carrier will occur. Here the third is the reverse recovery time. You can see over here this QRR. So because of this QRR, this is total time interval will be calculated as T4 plus T5, and because of that we can say that it is basically a time required for the minority carrier to recombine with the opposite charges to neutralize. So this is about the reverse recovery time of the particular charge. Now let's see the various advantages as well as limitations of this diode. First one is it has a very high voltage rating. Second one is it has a low power loss. Third one is it has a low power drop or voltage drop. Because it has a low voltage drop, so according to the equation power is equal to V square upon R, we can say that it has a very low power loss compared to the normal diode. But now it has its own limitation, that is it has a long recovery time. We will see, we already discussed about this in the characteristic, that how QRR will be affected because of T4 and T5's addition. It can operate only for the 1 kilohertz of range of frequency, and the most important limitation of it is it is not control device, because the SCR will provide the control rectification as well as we can use it on the inverter purpose also. So here the main limitation is it is not control device. These are the list of application where we can use the power diode. First one is in a high power rectifiers to convert AC into DC for the voltage multiplication purpose, because it will increase the gain of the circuit, in a battery charger, and in a freewheeling diode. Now we will see how this freewheeling diode will be operated as a power diode. So first let's see power diode as a freewheeling diode. So for using it as a freewheeling diode, you have to connected it with across the load in AC to AC converter. AC to AC converter or DC to DC converter means either in a AC regulators, or DC to DC converter means either you can use it in chopper circuit. So here you can see AC to DC or DC to DC converter, and across it here you connected the freewheeling diode, and here there is your load. So for this purpose the fast recovery diode is generally preferred, means it has a very short turn off time is generally preferred. Load should be inductive, so here you can see that load has an inductor part. So whenever we will use the freewheeling diode, we will take care that the load should be inductive over there. Next application is power diode as a feedback diode. So here again you have to use fast recovery, means very short turn off time. It provides a path for load stored energy to return to the DC source. Why it provides the path? Because it will be used as a feedback diode. So every time it will be connected again with the input like this. Here we will use a combination of transistor and resistor, and here you can see that load is acrossly connected with the circuit. Okay, so this is about feedback diode and freewheeling diode. Now let's see the classification of the thyristor families. First of all, thyristor will be classified into the two partition, that is power devices, and the second is triggering devices. For the power devices, it will be again connected with again partitioned into two paths, that is unidirectional as well as the bidirectional. For the unidirectional, we can say that SCR and gate control operation, GTO, and here bidirectional is triode for alternating current. SCR is silicon control rectifier. The next is UJT, means unijunction transistor for triggering, and diode for alternating current. We have to see all this in detail one by one. First, let's start with the first thyristor family member, that is SCR, means full form is silicon control rectifier. It is one type of oldest type of power device. It has a highest power handling capability among all power semiconductor devices. So this is the biggest advantage of it. It has construction different than the power devices because it has a 4 layer of anode, cathode, and here the most important part is gate. By this fourth terminal, that is gate terminal, it will provide us the controlled function that is absent in the power diode case. So it will overcome the limitation of power diode. Here you can see that PNPN means total 4 layer construction is there. So it will provide the 2 transistor. Here you can see PNP 1 transistor and the NPN is our second transistor. So it will operate in a 2 transistor mode. This one you can see here, over here there is a gate terminal to provide the control. This is the circuit symbol of the SCR with anode and cathode. One gate terminal is connected for the control operation. This is about the IV characteristic of SCR, that is our current versus voltage characteristic. So whenever the current increases, whenever the reverse voltage breakdown occurs, the current increases with the further capability, and as well as the breakdown voltage will occur. We will see about the detailed classification as well as the detail of IV characteristic of SCR in the next lecture. Up to this, if you have any doubt or queries regarding this session, you can ask me on my email ID. Thank you for watching.